What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I am the Crypto Crow. It's Tuesday, 5:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me go ahead and see if I can turn this fan off for a little bit, because I know it creates a little bit of a hum in that microphone. I just figured I'd come live. A couple of interesting things I wanted to point out today. I'm sorry I didn't show up or do anything yesterday. I've been so busy. I almost said, you know what, I'm just going to take this week and focus, excuse me, and focus on all the different stuff I've got going on. I've just been so overloaded mentally. It's been pretty crazy, but also I wanted to start off by showing some funny stuff, because as some of you know, my wife basically pimps me out on TikTok, and there's this company called Autonomous Dotai Smart Desk, and they basically shipped me a free desk. And they're like, hey, will you show it on your channel? And I'm like, sure. So my wife and I, we have this whole thing on TikTok because of our height difference. With me being 7 foot, she's only 5 foot. I mean, she's at almost like 5.5 or 550,000, like over 500,000 followers on TikTok. And I mean, we've had quite a few videos go really viral. Some of our videos have had like 24 million views, 27 million views. I'm not kidding. It's kind of silly. But anyway, I was going to show this. This is actually a video that I just thought it'd be funny if I used this smart desk on TikTok to raise my wife up to the same height as me. And so, and it got like 2.1 million views or whatever, right? It was just a silly video. But it was pretty funny. But I'm gonna actually show you one that you guys are gonna like absolutely lose your mind. Some of you guys don't think I have a silly side. You guys think I'm always stressed out, I'm always serious. She just did that one today. It's pretty funny, actually. I was actually shocked. She's really bored today because you know. But anyway, there's this thing that goes around. There's this thing that goes around about where spouses pretend to be one another, right? And so I basically did one of my wife. Now, I wanted to do this on my knees with her little shoes, like duct taped to my knees, but I'm just too big to be on my knees as we did this, but I thought I'd show you. I'm just finishing getting ready. I'll be right there. Oh my gosh, there's no culture anywhere. Salsa classes. Where are my salsa classes? Whatever. I'm going to live to be 110. I like to work out, and I'm taking my daily supplements. You can make fun of me all you want, but this is important. Babe, I love you. The last bit is so... My wife, it's not even funny. Hold up. I don't care if it says it's 110 degrees. I'm still freezing. This one. I looked at the scale today. I gained a pound. That means I have to cut out 283 calories so that I can have my 2 glasses of wine, and as long as I keep running. So, yes, I did that. Yes, I did that for my wife. I got to turn this fan back on. I'm already melting. So anyway, yeah, that's just some of the craziness that we do. We've done so many different silly things. A lot of them are just like, we did these at Target. This is my wife at Target. So yeah, we actually did that with people standing around watching us. And what's funny is that people ended up commenting on the TikTok video, hey, I saw you guys at Target, but I didn't want to say anything. So anyway, and then this is the website for the autonomous desk. It's actually pretty slick. And I'm doing a lot of this stuff, just letting viewers like line up or, you know, join in the live chat. So, killing time for just a bit. What are we? Yeah, 5 minutes, no big deal. So anyway, but yeah, this is the desk. It's like $379. It actually is a pretty solid desk. I did have to build it, but it wasn't anywhere near as difficult as I expected it to be. Probably took me, I don't know, 15 minutes maybe. And it's sturdy. Like, I could get on this desk myself at 7 foot, 300 pounds, and it would hold me with no problem. Not that I have. it's a pretty cool desk. Check it out if you're interested in that sort of thing. So there's the fun. Your wife is small. Yeah, she's very small. I call her, well, I probably shouldn't say what I call her in public. I feel sorry for her. Yeah, that's a lot of the comments that we get. Crypto Crow, I love you, bro, and your videos are awesome. But is that a camel toe you have stand in that pic with her? Let me just tell you this, and this is no joke. I should even say this, but I have had so many people find me on Instagram asking me for pictures because they all want to know what it's like to be 7 foot, I guess. I don't know. It's absolutely been insane. But yeah, I do a lot of stuff. My wife typically, like, she gets bored, and like, I think that TikTok is a stress reliever for her, and she has fun with it. And so she's just always like, come on, babe, we got to do a TikTok tonight. And it's like, I always grunt and groan and moan. And every once in a while I'll, I'm really 7 feet tall. I was 6'6" when I was in the 8th grade. So yeah, I'm really 7 feet tall. But anyway, so Cardano, I am more and more becoming just more of a Cardano maximalist on so many different levels, and I'm slowly inching my way into just basically making Cardano my focal point for everything. But Cardano's merry hard fork to offer native multi-asset support in February. So this is actually pretty big stuff. Cardano founders Charles Hoskinson updates have been crucial to the development of the ecosystem over the past year. So is the case this time too, with IOHK's CEO giving the community some important updates during his latest AMA. During the same, Hoskinson revealed that Merry hard fork is coming in February, with the same promising to deliver native multi-asset support to the Cardano network, which I know like groups like Celsius are also, some of you guys that watched my Celsius, my Alex Mashinsky with Charles Hoskinson, I think ultimately, I think I have an idea as to what Alex is trying to accomplish, and I think he's wanting to basically duplicate coins to save on fees. And I could be wrong. He's not told me this. I'm totally just speculating, but it's kind of like, Robinhood to an extent, which that's probably a big no-no considering the SEC's going after them now for like $65 million for not disclosing how they generated revenue for all this, basically no trading fees kind of thing. Obviously, that's not how Celsius works. But I think ultimately, rather than have these coins going back and forth, I think ultimately what they're looking to do is create duplicate assets that they're able to, transfer and do things with, but to save on actual network fees, especially since it's built on Ethereum. I mean, I can't tell you how many times now already I go and I try to send even $10 or $20 in tokens, and Ethereum wants to charge me $8 in transfer fees. I mean, it's beyond silly. I mean, it truly is beyond silly. I don't know how some of these Ethereum maximalists continue pushing it so hard outside of it being just what they hold, because I hold Ethereum and I'm fine with it, but ultimately there's just much better tech, and there's more coming. So but I think that's ultimately what Alex is looking to do. I think he wants to try and figure out a creative way of facilitating all of the transactions without it actually all being on the Ethereum blockchain, costing a fortune in transaction fees, because let's face it, it's only going to get bigger and bigger. So, but the long-awaited functionality has been running on Cardano testnets for a while now, and the hard fork combinator event is expected to see it moved over to the mainnet, along with the addition of infrastructure for the extended UTXO model. So native assets on Cardano would be implemented in a way that eliminates the added complexity that is required by Ethereum for the same functionality. According to an IOHK blog, Ethereum requires custom code for user-defined tokens to be supported on-chain. This adds a layer of complexity, cost, gas is needed to pay for the execution of the code, and inefficiency, since token code for both standards is replicated and adapted rather than being part of the system itself. 2021 is the year for Cardano. I absolutely believe so too. In fact, Cardano credits itself as being far more decentralized than Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, with Hoskinson claiming that it has been calculated by Cardano having 100x more unique entities producing blocks than Bitcoin. Usually when we say decentralization, we strictly mean the amount of nodes participating in the consensus process and how many unique people are making blocks, he said, adding, in the case of Bitcoin, 3 to 5 usually make the same blocks again and again. We, Cardano, have 300 to 500 stake pools consistently making blocks that are unique. He also noted that there are over 1,200 registered stake pools, and as such, he feels very comfortable with making the claim that Cardano is 100x more decentralized. So that's actually pretty good stuff. I mean, listen, I feel like every month there's going to be more new stuff that Cardano to me is like, and I shouldn't say this, but to me it truly is like the end all be all. I think Cardano is ultimately being developed to solve so many problems that, I can't imagine any reason why other people, why especially developers would want to develop for any other platform. And because of that, I see just an insane amount of adoption, probably not too far in the distant future. So, I mean, positions that I've had, I've literally had so many positions now for like over 2 years. I found like one of my old wallets, and I'm like, man, I didn't even know I had half of this stuff. I mean, there's stuff that I bought, I completely forgot I bought. And obviously it's all still relatively low in value, probably consider even like from where I traded it, but I'm just converting a lot of that stuff into Cardano. I mean, I really am at this point. I just think Cardano has so much specific milestones, so many specific milestones ahead of it, laid out right now. And every time it hits these milestones, it's just going to get that much bigger, that much bigger, that much bigger. The whole while, more wallets are being created, more of it is being staked, and ultimately soaking up a lot of the available supply. And I feel like it's a win-win. So I'm willing to risk it. I mean, honestly, because a lot of these, I've been watching a lot of these positions now for quite some time, and a lot of these altcoins, I mean, they might go up, 10%, but Cardano's going up 25, and it's and I think it's only going to continue growing and building momentum as we move through 2021. But that's just my own personal opinion. That's not financial advice. If you hold other tokens, I'm sure they're probably going to do pretty well too. So we'll have to wait and see. But Bitcoin options trader cashes out $36,000 call. Takes a $52,000 position for the end of January. And I'm seeing other people saying that they think it might be $70,000 by the end of this month. The last 7 days have been tumultuous for the market's leading cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, with Bitcoin climbing to touch a new all-time high of $41,941 before falling to a low of just over 30 grand just 2 days later. I was waiting this whole time, and I had so many friends. They're like, hey, I want to buy more Cardano. Should I buy Bitcoin now and this and that? And I'm like, you can. I kept telling people, like, average in, because I see it coming down in price here soon. And then, once it finally did start coming down, a lot of people were like, where's the bottom? Where's the bottom? I'm like, look, if I knew this specifically, I would have 1,000 Bitcoin, so there's really no way to know 100%. What's going to happen. So according to data analytics platform Lavitas, the infamous $36,000 call buyer took profits overnight for a total of 1,340 Bitcoin, a figure that amounted over $45 million. The same trader reportedly took some of those proceeds, worth $13.1 million, and repositioned himself into a $56,000, $64,000, and $72,000 calls with an expiry date of January 29th. So this guy, I mean, his low is 56,000 by the end of January, and this guy's playing with millions. So when I see stuff like this, I'm thinking to myself, I don't really know if this is just somebody who's trading technicals as much as somebody who somehow knows something that other people don't, because that's a heck of a lot of money to risk on something that, you know, is pretty significant. The trader in question took the $36,000 bet when the value of Bitcoin was around 22 grand. At the time, 36K seemed out of reach, but Bitcoin proceeded to surge to a new all-time high in the weeks that followed, touching 41.9 on the 8th of January. Now he says Bitcoin surges an average of 150% after every 30% dip. And he posts a picture of that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, will you? Because I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Now, this is also on a weekly chart. So we get a you know, 38, 33, 38, 36, and then boom. Yeah, I mean, he looks right. That one was only 117, but that averaged out with the 238. I mean, overall, it looks like a pretty solid trajectory that, you know, is difficult to challenge, I guess you could say. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I'm always bullish on Bitcoin. And here's the thing, too. I want to kind of leave you guys off with a note here. You know, I know so many of us now are so much more educated on what happens in the crypto market, these market cycles, where we're going, what's happening. But, you know, and there's some things that I'd really like to say, but I just don't feel comfortable saying them on YouTube. Kind of my own impression. I've done videos in the past of what I thought Bitcoin may very well be, and the overall nature of blockchain and the technology. And all I'm going to say is, if you're not in crypto yet, I would definitely suggest highly considering it. I'm not telling you what to buy. I'm not telling you what to do with it. But I definitely believe that we're entering a new era just on the grand scale of global economics. And I do wholeheartly believe that cryptocurrency is the basis of all of it. And I think that we're going to see some significant and drastic changes over the next 4 years. Let's just say that. And I think, honestly, from then on, I think things are going to be changing quite a bit as we know it. We already know that you're not being handed quarters, nickels, or dimes anywhere. A lot of stores that you go to nowadays are now going completely cashless. A lot of that stuff is a thing of the past. And if you think about the very nature of what I think some of us are realizing is happening today, I don't think there's, I mean, blockchain currency, whether it's Bitcoin or anything else, is so much more easy to track and keep tabs on than fiat. If I have $100 cash and I buy something from you and I hand you some paper, there's no record of that. There's no record of that anywhere. But with cryptocurrency, there's always a footprint. There's always a record, and it's easily tracked and it's easily monitored. Keep that in mind, because ultimately, I do believe we're gonna be running into. You know, I know that like USD Tether has an audit coming here in 3 days, and I think that I'm gonna hazard a guess and say that audit's not gonna be good. And when that audit comes back as not so good, I think that's when we're going to start seeing some more regulatory hammers come crashing down on the market to a certain extent. Not necessarily to crash the market, but to crash Tether in favor of some more state-issued stable coins that I'm guessing are going to be announced right around sometime this month, I'm guessing. I don't know, and I'm literally this is tinfoil hat stuff. I have no idea what I'm really talking about here. I'm literally just sharing my thoughts with you, the things that I contemplate on a regular basis. But for all I know, the audit could come back clean as a whistle and everything will be super squeaky clean, and you know, and then the opposite will happen. You know, maybe the government you know, starts really helping USD Tether and so forth. I don't know. But I think I do, and I don't necessarily think that's what's going to happen. Now, the other question for me is what blockchain and what stable coins are going to be utilized instead of USD Tether? That's the question, because there are a lot more stable tokens out there now than there were the last time Tether created a scare and started sending Bitcoin's price down. So they're just things to look at and things to consider as we move forward into this market, because I think things are going to be very exciting, very interesting. But I also don't think that the entirety of the cryptocurrency market is going to rise up like it did in the 2017 ICO craze. I think that a lot of the cream is going to rise to the top. And while there's always going to be pump and dump groups pumping whatever coin they can get at a fraction of a penny and pump it up to 2 or 3 cents before dumping it, and we're going to see a lot of activity across the board, I believe that the cryptocurrencies that truly rise up and get better gains than, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and the like after they've peaked, like that's the other thing. I think it's going to be a matter of Bitcoin, and I think it's going to, Bitcoin's going to go into Ethereum, and then Ethereum's going to probably start slowing down a bit as the price starts getting a little too high, and then a lot of that money's going to start really dumping into the altcoin market for a rally, unlike anything we've ever seen before. And I think at that point, that's when we're going to start seeing a lot of craziness. I think that's when the market's going to go nuts. But I do believe that the biggest gainers in the market are going to be the ones that have shown fundamentally throughout the bear market that they're worthwhile investments, because I believe that at this point in time, with over 6,000 cryptocurrencies on the total market cap, only a few of those, when I say few, it'll probably be 1,000 or 2 that are going to get some pretty significant gains. They're going to be consistently traded against Bitcoin's volatility at the time, yada, yada, yada. We know what's coming. Just be careful. And whether it's me or any other YouTube enthusiast that you're watching, don't run out and buy everything or anything just because we say we like it. We don't know. We do not know what's going to happen in this market. None of us do. None of us ever have. Some of us might make some good calls and so forth. I've had quite a few really good ones myself. I still get messages about Utrust and Celsius and just in Cardano and others. But I haven't always been right either. And so you have to make sure you do your own research. You have to make sure that you're just kind of taking what some of us YouTubers are saying to point you in the right direction, and then you take it to the next level. Don't just buy because we like something, because you really don't always know the motives behind the person pumping it. And so just keep that in mind. I just want to see everybody do really well this year. It's 2021, and I believe that this is the make it or break it year. This is the time when so many lives are going to change. And I want to see everybody that's paying attention right now do exceedingly well. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I want to see every one of you do very, very well. A part of it is because I've spent years now evangelizing cryptocurrency, trying like hell to get people into Bitcoin when it was $4,000. And it was crickets. All I got people who thought they knew what they were talking about, making bets with me that it would never go back to its all-time high. I had a guy bet me a Bitcoin that it wouldn't get back to 8,000. It was he either bet me it was never going to get back to 8,000 or it was never going to get to 20 grand, whatever it was. Hey, dude, you owe me a Bitcoin. So many people that think they know what they're talking about because they get a lot of their news from mainstream media. They get their news and their ideas and their thought process basically spoon-fed to them by people that really don't know what they're talking about. And I think this is a situation where, granted, there are a lot of YouTubers out there that know probably a hell of a lot more about blockchain technology and cryptocurrency than the pundits you're going to be watching on MSM or, whatever the major news, CSNBC. I mean, some of these guys know their stuff, but the majority are just regurgitating things they read that morning like we do on YouTube. The difference is the majority of us are spending a significant amount of time reading white papers and putting in the effort to truly understand the technology behind the headlines. And I think that the deeper you dive into the technology behind the headlines, the more you'll understand the foundation by which the blockchain space will continue to grow throughout 2021 and beyond, and you'll have a much better understanding as to where you might want to put your money. But I'm not here to tell you that. So, and make sure you're safe. So that's it. I don't know if I've had 720 viewers on here since the last bull market. So obviously things are turning around quite a bit. Cardano smart contracts will be game changing. Absolutely, they're going to be game changing. And I think that when we get that, we're going to see some migration off of Ethereum. Like a lot of people, I think a lot of people are underestimating the amount of migration we're going to see from developers and projects that are currently sitting on Ethereum and moving over to Cardano. I'll tell you, I just exited a Tron position and put it all into Cardano because, you know, if I'm watching Tron, I'm not seeing any activity. I mean, I haven't seen any activity on Tron in so long. And to be honest with you, the only stuff that I ever really see on Tron are like silly games and gambling dApps. And I'm like, that's just not going to cut it. And so, you know, the big marketing machine, I'm sure, is going to ramp up once Justin Sun gets closer to, you know, where he thinks the market is primed and ready for the propaganda. But I'm not a believer anymore. I am wholeheartedly a believer in Cardano. And I think for me at this point, it's just trying to find those right exchange and transition points that I think are going to do the best for the funds that I have invested. You know, so I see some of you guys talk about Theta. Yeah, I didn't even realize that I invested in Theta like a long time ago. I was like shocked to see because I forgot all about it and then discovered it again years later. And I'm like, this is great. And then I started the channel and this and that. I had no idea I actually still had Theta tokens. Like, here's the thing. I know a lot of YouTubers, they'll go out to exchanges, they'll buy a token, they'll go on their YouTube channel, tell everybody how great it is, and then dump it, right? And I have never done that. Like, I have never done that. So I have stuff that I literally bought the first day I got into crypto, and I took some of my mining yield and I bought like a couple of ICOs. I have stuff that I just like, I don't even know what the hell it is. Like, I know some of the stuff I didn't buy, there's just various airdrops and things like that. But yeah, like I just held through because I'm like, you know, if this stuff ever does blow up, I don't want to pay an insane amount of capital gains tax on it. And I'm patient. Patience is definitely a thing in crypto because, as you know, the market ebbs and flows. So anyway, that's it. I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of a video. I like to try and keep these under 30 minutes because I don't want, no, I never dumped ADA. That's for sure. Do we know when ADA will hit Coinbase? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I did. I'd love to be able to say, but a part of me doesn't even think Charles knows 100%. Because like he said, and you know, when I asked him about it in that live interview and he basically told me to F off, I mean, obviously it was tongue in cheek, but he's probably kind of serious because everybody's asking him that question every time he turns around. It's probably the biggest bane of his whole public life is like, when Coinbase? So, you know, we'll just have to wait and see like everything else. I'm sure it'll happen. It's just a matter of when, but I know that I want to be very primely positioned before it does. So that's all I have to say today, guys. And I may or may not be live tomorrow. I'm honestly not sure. I might be a little sporadic throughout this week. I'm just trying to keep my sensibilities because there's just so much going on, and I've been staying up really late, and I'm just calculating, and I'm just trying to figure out all kinds of stuff. So bear with me. I really appreciate it if you hit the like button for me, maybe leave a couple comments below. And again, I want to let everybody know I've got these impersonators that are impersonating me all over the internet. It's insane. If you see somebody, you know, and you know that it's not my account, or you see one of the letters off in a name or whatever, call it out. Let other people know that's not me. I can't possibly police the internet. I mean, if these platforms can't police themselves from who's real and who's not, and let people that want to be verified get verified, there's nothing I can do. And a lot of these scammers and these dishonest people are taking advantage of that, and there's just not much we can do about it. So, A Crow, any thoughts on Crypto Beatles? What happened? I don't know. What happened? Did something happen that I'm not aware of? I don't know. Anyway, on that note,